Welcome to Horror Cinema Obsession. Here, we dive deep into the chilling depths of horror cinema, from the critically acclaimed scares to the laughably ludicrous, and even the delightfully obscure. Now, let's join our hosts, Richard and Angelus, as they share their love, laughs, and sometimes sheer disbelief at the world of horror movies.
All right, world, welcome. Hope everything's going good with the outside world. We're in our bunker right now.
What are we hiding from?
I don't know.
Hoop Fest.
Oh, it is. It's Spokane. It's Hoop Fest weekend. We're hiding low. We're hunkering down.
We're escaping town. I'm escaping town for it.
Yeah, we're dark souls, so we don't like to be in the sun.
It's just hot, and I don't know anyone who plays.
Yeah.
Do you?
No.
So Hoop Fest takes place in Spokane. It's the world's biggest 3-on-3 basketball tournament. There's like tens of thousands of people that play in.
Woo.
Ooh. And then we're like, what? Let's leave.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm excited. Go check out a cave. I'm not excited about bringing you know who, but...
Who?
I won't name names. We won't put them on blast, but...
Why are you being so...
It rhymes with...
effing rude.
It rhymes with smell seed.
Richard's trying to take fights before we go on our trip.
I'm kidding. I'm excited for all of us to go. Glad you invited her. But anyways, let's close the tab. Hoop Fest is great. Hoop Fest weekend. Holla.
Holla, holla.
Holla, holla, holla. Anyways, how is my beautiful co-host, my Novia, Angelus?
Sorry, I just had a flashbacks of a couple conversations we had this week. I'm great. Novio, how are you?
Pretty good. Do you want to enlighten the crowd? I think I know the conversations you're talking about. Do you want to talk about it? I don't think it's absurd.
Well, the first one was, I'm very curious. Richard swears left and right. You are Italian and Native American.
I have Native American. I'm not full Native American.
I know, but that's your main that you're made up of, right?
Amongst other things, yes.
Amongst other things. So there was an ongoing joke that you're mixed with other backgrounds. And so we got Richard.
Mainly Irish. They keep saying I'm Irish.
I say you have to have some Irish. If I'm Mexican and I have Irish, you definitely have Irish. Anyways, we got Richard a test, and he got his results back over the weekend, and This
is bullshit, dog. It ain't accurate.
This is all I keep hearing all week.
It's not accurate.
I keep getting rants.
Listen, my grandpa tracked our lineage for like a long time. Like our family was in Italy, grew up in Italy. We're Italians. And this stupid ancestry got it wrong. The fact that my brother took a different test and got legit Italian percentage, and we have both the same mom and dad, that tells me these tests aren't the most accurate. They just go off of their own results, like their own testing stuff. So.
Do you want to share what your highest percentage of?
Yeah, dude, it tried to say I was German. No. I mean, I got German Emmy, yes. But I'm heavily Italian.
It's the German, Eastern Europe, and Russia. And I was like, Richard,
guys, if you could see
on a throne of lies.
Guys, if you could see my face, like I'm sure you have on Instagram and TikTok, I am Italian. I have an Italian nose, Italian ears.
Anyways, I just think it's funny because you will not let it go, and you're so upset about it.
Dude. Oh my God.
And every time I see you, you keep bringing up your grandpa's like heritage, like their book and everything.
When you greet me with Guten Tag or whatever, like
yeah.
Auf Wiedersehen. I don't want to hear that shit.
It's all jokes, man.
Oh yeah, so funny. So funny.
You're Italian. Ancestry says that you're German. It's all good. I was born in Mexico, and I have so much Spanish and
But
other
even
Europe in me.
yours, I know, and I have that too. But like yours is even, I would dare I say, inaccurate as well.
Mm,
But you know what? Time will tell. I will prove you wrong. I'm going to do several different tests. I'm going to show you how different these are all going to be.
I'm so ready to see how much you're going to invest in this test.
It's going to be insane. And I don't have to. I can transfer the DNA to a different company that
You
I
can
already
do that?
Yeah, because you own it. It's your DNA.
Good luck.
What's up?
That's why they make you sign all those like click yes
I
that
know,
you're
I
signing
know.
your life away when you sign up.
I know, but you can transfer it over. Trust me.
Well, once you find out the process, let me know.
We'll do. We'll do.
Cool beans.
Wow. Way to get this off to a hot start.
You made me laugh.
Let's close that tab. Oh my God. She won't stop laughing at me, guys.
It's okay. We
You're
like it just
making
fine.
You're making the mic pop, dude.
Sorry.
Like the look in your eye of just like thinking like what I could potentially procreate with a German. Like the disgust. I was like, dude, it's not real. I am as tan as they get.
No, it was funny because all this time, all I've ever heard from you is those two. And then it says that you're like 3% native.
Dude, fuck that, dude. Fuck the ancestry.com. It's garbage.
Oh,
We're throwing it out.
you've been lying all this time.
It's inaccurate, dude. I don't even give a fuck. Their markers do not have my DNA, apparently.
Okay.
Okay. If anybody has suggestions of which ones I should partake in, please let me know.
Yes, please do. See if there's a better, more accurate.
Yes. So, guys, as you can imagine, this is how my week has went. Just ridicule and laughter at me. But, Angelus, how has your week been?
It's been good. It's Friday.
It's Friday?
Yes.
Well, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get your jobs done?
No.
Your audits at the audit factory?
I got my big one that was outstanding for a while done. And I'm
Hey,
moving on to the
nice.
next big one that we're supposed to get wrapped up here soon. So it's like, it's our busy season for reals. We have deadlines at the end of September. But there's so many big governments that need federal audits by September 30th.
Nice, folks. So be on the lookout for that. That's exciting. If you're in the Washington State, Eastern Washington, you might see Angelus.
We're in West Washington, babe.
What? No, we're not. West is Seattle. We're Eastern.
Oh, eastern side of the state. I thought you meant like us and like Washington D.C. And I was wrong.
Wrong Washington, bro.
If you're in the Pullman Spokane area,
Yep.
I'm coming for you. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
I joke.
Okay, well, that's that's what's going on in our lives. So, do you want to cover business real quick before we get into what movie we're covering?
Sure.
So, as many of you know, and thanks for the participation, we have a giveaway that we're doing, and we had let you guys know that we have found a winner, and we're announcing it today on this episode. Very exciting. And as a reminder for the giveaway, we asked many of you to kind of say what your favorite horror movie was or your favorite episode of ours, and then like on TikTok or Instagram, like the giveaway. And many of you did. Thank you. And Angelus, do you want to announce the lucky winner?
The lucky winner that will get a Blu-ray copy of Poltergeist 3 is handle Jen Bond Rod on Instagram.
Woohoo! Exciting times.
Yeah, so we'll be reaching out, getting contact information, and shipping that baby out.
Yep. So looking forward to that. Yeah, that closes. Do we have any more business that we want to cover?
And that's all the tabs for the business.
All the tabs.
As of this week, I believe. Yep.
Okay. And we got a big giveaway coming, guys. We're approaching 3,000 downloads. 1,000 followers on Instagram. I'm excited. We got one lined up. Angeles, you got to be right. You're excited. I'm not going to give away what we're gonna.
It's big. Bridger broke the bank.
Yeah,
He went all out.
I pulled all the strings to the point I'm eating top ramen right now.
He reached out to people everywhere and got the goods.
Yep. We're flying you out to Universal Studios. No,
I'm going.
That'd be funny. You'd be like, the fuck you did. But yeah, no, we'll announce that here when we hit those numbers, and we're hitting them quick. It's coming fast. So I anticipate here, gosh, in the next month, you think?
Maybe a month or so.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you. This is all a thank you to you guys for your support. And honestly, you guys have been great. So we appreciate you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for following, listening, giving us a chance. We know there's like so many options for horror and movies and podcasts out there. And you can spend your time listening to any of them. But, you
listen to us two dumbasses.
I just fucking speak for yourself.
Hey, I'm just happy, man. Even that one listener. Hey, we see you.
We hear
see
you.
We love you.
Yeah, we're working on getting more stickers because we had a couple people reach out asking for stickers.
For more stickers. Yeah, the stickers are popular. And guys, we try to like tailor make the stickers for you. So like we ask what your favorite horror character is, and then we'll add stickers of that too.
Yeah.
Not just our logos. We like curate it. We have our our review corner, Vienna, do it, and she's very good at it. She's very good.
Huh?
Anyways, let's close the business tab, huh?
Close.
Now, the movie we covered this week, I'm pretty excited about. You never seen this before, right?
It was my first time.
And this movie, when I initially saw this, and when I saw it twice, even this time, it gives me the creeps, man. It freaks me out. I don't know why this movie does, but it does. Do you want to announce the movie?
We did a spinny wheel, and the winner, the wheel with all the movies that Vienna did last week, remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, random selection.
Yeah, random selection. So the movie that was selected was The Dark and the Wicked.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you haven't seen that, I highly recommend, and we'll talk about it in depth here, but...
Tread careful.
Tread carefully?
Yes, it's dark.
It is. This is probably the darkest we've went so far, huh?
Yeah. We were like, horror, comedy, happy laughing, and then we went boom.
Yeah, this one kind of sucked all the air out of it. Like, it was kind of depressing, I'm not going to lie. But in that, I still had fun. There's always in this genre room for that. Obviously, we look for the scares too. Your initial thoughts on this movie?
Dude, this movie fucking fucks.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't overhype it because I've been talking about it for so long that you need to watch it.
You've been talking about it since we met, and I honestly was scared to watch it all this time because you kept bringing it up and you're like, you need to watch this. You need to watch this. And I was like, I don't want to fucking watch this by myself. You told me how much it freaked you out the first time you watched it. Like, I don't want to go through that alone. I need a support buddy.
A support buddy? You had Vienna.
Yeah, it's not the same. We watched 2 back-to-backs this week. Oh
man, what a palate cleanser. So next week, I think we watched it already, but we're going to cover it next week. The palate cleanser was Hell House LLC. That was another one that was fucking freaky.
I know. You were like, oh, you had a Vienna. I had you on one side and Vienna on another side. And every time there was something scary, you guys were shoving me and pushing me and grabbing me. I
know. We're very dramatic people when we watch movies, and especially if it affects us.
Richard was shoving me in front of the TV.
I was like, no. Oh man, I get very animated. I start screaming and stuff. I can't control it. I talk. I'm like, no. Reminds me of Malibu's
it's
Most Wanted.
So you guys take a little bit of the scare away from me though when you guys are doing that. Because I'm trying to like go through the scary phases and then I'm being pulled and being pushed and hiding behind me.
Yeah, no. So you really like the movie?
Yeah, it was really good.
Nice. We'll see if your opinion changes. as we dive deep
Die.
into this. So yeah, no, The Dark and the Wicked. If you haven't seen it, that's definitely a high priority to see it.
Shudder.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a Shudder original too,
Mhm.
which is awesome. I'm starting to like Shudder more and more. I've always liked it, but man, they are up in their game. I'm stoked you showed Maria, your mom, When Evil
Oh
Lurks.
yeah.
I thought she would be more freaked out.
She was grossed out. You heard her get up at
Yeah.
one point.
She's like, oh, cabron.
She had to run out. She's like, what did I miss?
Which we got to cover that movie. I think that might be our next foreign one. No, you know what? Our next foreign film, the one you keep wanting to do, it's an older one
Which one?
with the rocker, the metal guy.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
What's it called?
El
The
Día
Beast?
de la Bestia, the Day of the Beast. It's a Spanish
Yes.
movie.
It's like a horror comedy.
Yes.
It's good. We got to get that on the calendar.
Okay.
We'll figure that out. But anyways, back to The Dark and the Wicked. This movie had a budget of approximately $4 million. But a thing about this movie, and it's kind of unfortunate because I don't think it got its roses, and I think it's very underrated and overlooked. This came out in the thick of it, 2020. This came out in, and the pandemic totally fucked this up.
Oh, it was scheduled to release in April of 2020 originally.
When shit was going down.
As everything was closing, yeah. And then it got pushed back to November.
And then we're in the total close down theaters. It didn't do it justice because it ended up grossing roughly 836,000 in the box office. But the film did gain more attention and viewership through streaming services, which really took off during the pandemic, especially the video on demand platforms after a theatrical release. And that helped contribute to its overall revenue.
I did see I found 4 like internationally countries where it had the biggest hit too. The first one being Mexico, followed by Russia, Netherlands, and South Korea.
Wait, repeat that. Sorry, I was reading my notes.
Oh my Lord. Outside of the US, the top 4 countries where it had like a big hit and made kind of a good chunk of money was Mexico, Russia, Netherlands, and South Korea.
I suspected Mexico because it has that
Possession.
Yes, it has that kind of demon stuff, and you guys love that shit. It freaks you out. I like that. That's cool. So, but the highest grossing movie of 2020 was, I don't think I've ever heard of this, The 800. Have you?
The 800?
Yeah, it's a Chinese war film directed by Wan Hu. Despite the global impact of the pandemic on the film industry as a whole, the 800 movie managed to gross approximately $461 million worldwide.
Damn.
This film was particularly successful in China, where it became a major box office hit. Have you heard of this?
No, I was like going through the list, and a lot of these movies I only know because of streaming services, not because of theater.
Yeah.
And again, it's because they came out during COVID.
Yeah.
So.
And I caught a lot of movies during the, everybody did. Shit wasn't going down. And there were some good ones that came out. Do you have a list of horror movies that came out?
Yeah, so I found a lot of these that a few of them I haven't heard of before. And I added some to our list. Another top one that I saw is called His House. It's about a couple who's a refugee and they escape a war zone in South Sudan. And they move to this English town when there's like something evil lurking beneath the surface. The Host also came out during 2020. A Quiet Place 2.
How do you feel about the Quiet Place movies? I'm gonna admit it. I'm not a big fan.
No freaking way.
Oh, you don't like it?
No, I had heard you before. Talk about The Quiet Place.
Oh, do you like it?
I'll watch them.
I'm not saying they're terrible. I don't like it. There's some effective parts. Anyways, continue. Sorry to cut you off.
I like them. I think they, I don't know, it's just something to watch. The other one that came out was The Platform, which I had you watch. Remember
I
the
like
Spanish
that one.
movie?
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Set in a futuristic world. There's like prisoners and vertical cells.
I wouldn't go down. I think it's horror adjacent. I think that's more of a psychological like thriller.
It's a vertical cell.
Oh my
jail.
god.
It fucks with you, okay? If you like movies that fuck with you and you're just trying to figure out what's going
Psychological,
on.
yeah.
I feel like this movie, for me, you know that I love psychological thrillers.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking have watched this a few at times and I love it every time.
Mm.
Highly recommend it. And I feel like not a lot of people talk about it. Like people that enjoy this type of movies.
So I didn't know this movie existed until you showed it to me.
Yeah. So it has a really messed up thing. Like the theme of it being, there's a lot of things that go in there. There's like political, social status, all these things. There's vertical cells. And it's in levels. And essentially you're seeing everyday inmates above you eat as the inmates that are at the bottom of this vertical cell starve to death. The Invisible Man.
How'd you like that one?
I like it.
I enjoyed it. It was pretty good.
With Elizabeth Moss from The Handmaid's Tale, and then Oliver Jackson Cohen from Mad Men, and then he was also in Hunting of Hill House.
Oh yeah.
Hunting of Bly Manor. The Possessor. I don't think that I've watched this. Have you?
I've never seen it. The Possessor at all. It looks interesting though, because Cronenberg made it. Brandon Cronenberg, I think that's his son who made that movie.
Underwater also came out. I actually really like this movie.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's another it's like a thriller underwater. It's Kristen Stewart, Jessica Henwick.
Oh, that's why
they go on a drilling station that's at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
And stuff happens. Like there's one of the wall starts breaking down and they have to walk across the seabed. Taylor
Lautner just bursts out.
Oh my God, Richard. To another facility. And then there's like this mysterious deadly creatures. I think the part that this freaks me out is because
it's the ocean. I don't like the ocean.
It's realistic. There's like 95% of it that has not been explored.
Yeah, it's scary.
So it's like, what lives down there?
Gorgira.
The Hunt also came out.
Oh, that one's pretty good.
Relic.
So I thought this was a remake. Have you ever seen the 90s called The Relic? It's got Tom Sizemore in it. So they just have the name Relic, but it's not the remake.
Oh, okay.
Which I really like that the original one. That's a pretty good one.
Also, Bram's The Boy 2.
Oh, dude. So I always see the movie cover of this on streaming platforms, but I've never watched it.
Have you watched the first one?
I've never watched any of them.
It's so good. The first one?
You got to put it on our list, girl.
All right. The first one was really good. We watched the second one.
So, okay. High recommendation from Diaz Jimenez?
The Boy.
The Family?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think I had my mom watch a lot of these with me when we were COVID down.
You're going to have to put that, but you didn't bring up a good one.
What one?
Because you despise it.
I despise it? What is it?
Guess.
Oh, I don't know.
La Lorena.
La Llorona.
La Llorona, yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so I was confused. I was going down this list and it had La Llorona and it said that there's a version that was made in 2019 in Guatemala. And the one that I saw was not made in Guatemala. It was the La Llorona something. And I don't know.
You didn't like it, huh?
I didn't love it.
Didn't like it.
I have a high standards of La Llorona. If you're going to put her on TV, you better do her good. I'm kidding.
So those are pretty good movies that came out considering the pandemic and shit was shutting down. I thought that was pretty good because they rushed to get some of this stuff.
I remember
done.
There was, we would have movie like farther down in 2020 when it was okay to see your family again.
Oh my God. You stopped. There's no way you guys stopped seeing your family.
We did it. But there was one time where a lot of my family works in here in Spokane, they work in the health industry.
Yeah.
Like veteran centers and that kind of stuff. So they were really strict and trying not to get sick.
Yeah.
Because they had to go in and work with patients. So I remember one time they started doing this thing a couple times where we would jump on Google Duo calls, like video calls, like a bunch of us, and just
Oh
seeing
my
what was going on.
God.
But once we did get, I remember there were a couple times we turned it into a whole like movie night since the movie theaters were closed, and we rented like, gosh, Trolls. One of the Trolls movie came out, and so my nieces came over and we had pizza and everything.
Nice.
Since we couldn't go to the movie theaters, we were renting the movies that were coming out. I think Trolls was one of the first that came out that you could immediately like rent.
So you made good with a bad situation.
Yeah.
Nice. I don't want to relive COVID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's not go down memory
I was
lane.
baking a ton because I was
You were?
having like 3-day weekends, and I was going online and finding recipes. Oh my gosh, I was dropping off food at people's houses.
Dude, at that time I was newly freshly broken up.
Oh Lord.
And fucking right when that I broke up like 3 months before the pandemic started. And I was in my apartment by myself. It fucking sucked, dude.
You're like, had I known.
Yeah, dude. Shit. I would have prioritized a little bit better.
Man, I was single. I was happy. I had my long weekends.
Yeah.
I was working whatever schedule I wanted and just baking a ton.
My shit sucked, man. I was like, man, fuck. Nothing to do.
You should have come and say hi. I would have given you cookies.
I didn't know you, bro.
Or cupcakes.
I didn't know you, bro.
Okay.
Or else I would have. I would have been there every day. I'm
6 feet.
I'm like, hola.
Stupid.
Okay. So that covers that portion. Let's get into it. How do you feel about this cast? It's not a big cast.
Again, I feel like not having memorable faces that are in every single movie in scary movies is really effective, because you can disassociate some of these actors and actresses from other big roles that they might have had.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the only person I totally get what you're saying, because the only person I do know off this that I even know who they were was the main actress.
Oh, okay.
How do you say it? Marion Ireland?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
because
recognize
I've seen her in everything. She was in Hell or High Water in 2016. 2019, she was in The Irishman with our boy Robbie D, Bob De Niro, Al Pacino. You ever seen it? No?
Al Pacino?
And then she's in Dark and the Wicked. And then I never seen 28 Hotel Rooms or The Empty Man, but I've seen her more on TV. Mm-hmm. And I've seen her in Homeland, Umbrella Academy, specifically Sneaky Pete. That was a good series. I think that was on Hulu. Or no, Amazon. And then the last one that I seen was Gaslit.
Okay.
But apparently she's done theater and she's won some accolades or some awards. She got the Independent Spirit Award nomination for a role she was in Glass Chin. Theater World Award for her outstanding debut performance on Broadway. A Tony Award nomination for Reasons to Be Pretty. So she's pretty accomplished. She's a well-known person in the acting circles.
Yeah, a lot of them had been in so much work.
Yeah. How did you like her?
I like her. I have seen her in a few things here and there, but it's not like Avengers or Marvel to where you're like, oh, you're this character. Now you're playing this daughter in this farm.
Yeah, she's not like a mega star. She's kind of you would say an actor's actor.
An actor's actor.
You're like, she's not like, huge, but like
you recognize her,
yeah. So with her, you have the guy who plays Michael. His name's Michael Abbott Jr. I've never seen him, but apparently he was in Fear the Walking Dead. You're a big Walking Dead fan.
Oh, you know who was in we'll get to it.
What?
Oh, the guy that played the priest.
Oh, yeah.
Father Sander Berkeley. He was in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I remember that.
For a long time.
I remember that. He was also in Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Anyways.
Air Force One.
Oh, are we jumping
with Harrison Ford.
Sander?
Yeah, he was in TV appearances 24. And yeah, The Walking Dead. And then you have Michael Abbott, who, Fear the Walking Dead, and then The Death of Dick Long. Lynn Andrews, the nurse, who later on, spoiler, meets her demise in a rotten way. She's featured in Manhattan and Longmire. I don't think I've ever seen her in anything.
I saw, so the Lynn Andrews?
Yeah.
She was in some like TV shows. So Dead to Me, The Magicians, Modern Family, Big Bang Theory, Superstore, Speechless.
So I've seen all of them, but I've just never seen her.
She was in like one episode here and there throughout. Michael Abbott Jr. was also in, we still need to watch it, Killer of the Flower Moon.
Ooh, we do got to watch that. Scorsese, your boy Leo.
Mm-hmm.
And then Julie Oliver Touchstone was the mother. And I've never seen her in anything, but I thought she was pretty effective in this movie.
She was.
And Michael Zacks, he doesn't have any speaking roles in this, but he plays a good coma man.
Good cover. He was in Fight Club.
Was he?
Briefly, Picture Perfect.
Well, a couple of these guys were in Friday
Divine
Night Lights.
Access. And then you have Tom Nowicki as Charlie.
Yeah.
He was in Paranormal Activity, Next of Kin, Reptile.
The Punisher.
Safety.
Remember the Titans.
And then he produced The Last Stop, The Last Spring. And then Ella Valentine, young girl, at the end. I don't know how they gave her a name besides young girl. She was in Rise and Shine, Benedict Stone, Anne of Green Gables. She was in a lot of those shows. Fire and Dew, The Monster, Milton's Secret.
Oh, fascinating.
Fascinating. What? Did you think I was making it up?
Yep.
You're dumb.
Just checking your fucking notes, Doc.
Why? What did you find?
No, not a lot.
Okay.
Now, the director / writer of this movie, Brian Bertino. Brian Bertino was born October 17th, 1977 in Crowley, Texas. He's a filmmaker. A lot of you know his work. I know his work. In this, he did his most famous, I think, movie was The Strangers, 2008, which, goddamn, we got to cover that. That's such a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't want to cover it here recently because the new one came out, and then every podcast and their uncle were talking about it. So I think down the road we'll cover it. That was his directorial debut, and fucking what a banger to come out on.
Yeah.
And then he had Mockingbird, which I don't think I've ever seen. The Monster, I've never seen that one. I have seen The Strangers Pray at Night, and then The Dark and the Wicked. So his directing career is really just getting started. He's kind of in the middle of it.
He's done writing too. I found that he was a writer for, so the one that just came out, The Strangers Chapter 1. He also was a producer in The Black Coat's Daughter. And he has an upcoming movie coming out called Vicious, where he's a writer-director, is coming out 2025.
So curious, do you see a difference in The Strangers and It Follows?
The Strangers?
Yeah. And then It Follows?
Oh my fucking
Directorial debuts for both.
Oh.
Which one? I'm not, again, what's his name? David Gordon? No, it ain't David Gordon. Mitchell. David Mitchell or some bullshit. God, he irks me.
This will be my last episode, you guys.
Oh my God. Anyways, so like his work, Bertino focuses on atmospheric tension and psychological horror. He often explores themes of fear and isolation, which is you can kind of see that in all the films that I listed. Mm-hmm. And that fear, isolation, and atmospheric tension is in full-fledged. He is a master of that. I will give him that. Especially in this movie. It's fucking intense. And then it's just unsettling. He's really good at making you feel unsettled, right?
Yes. I have a little bit from an interview with him. He says that as a writer, he tends to write smaller movies. He said he thinks of them as mini epics. You take all those emotions and it's just a huge story in a small space.
It's fucking efficient though, and effective. I love it.
Yeah, he says that way you can really examine all the little details of their lives. Sometimes in these bigger movies, especially in the horror, it's too many words. He'd rather have language limited because he thinks that at times the bigger the movie,
Takes
the
away.
less personal, the greater the chance of audiences not being able to feel like they're in that space within the characters. Again, just tending to write about dark subject matters in general. He says that when he starts writing dramas, they're dark dramas. He says that he doesn't know what it is, maybe just part of his nature, wanting to make sure that characters like really stand out. And that he has a really strong story to tell about them. And that there's that inherent drama that makes him care about like what's going on with each one of those characters.
Yeah. So again, I think wouldn't that be cool if like him and the dude who directed It Follows, if they collaborated? I feel like if they meshed, that fucking It Follows would have had potential to be amazing.
Yeah.
I just could see this guy working on that and really making it work.
Yeah.
For me, at least. Anyways, I did read the inspiration for The Dark and the Wicked drew from his own family experiences and the isolation in rural farm life. He was influenced by the idea of returning home to face personal demons and the dread of confronting family trauma. And then, the film's setting, an isolated farm, was based on Bertino's own upbringing on his family's farm, which coincidentally, from what I read, they shot this movie
That's pretty cool.
on the farm of his family, which is cool, man. That is awesome.
To have that little piece of personal you.
Yeah, I wonder, obviously they had to like doctor it up, dress it up for the movie, but I wonder how much they did.
Yeah.
Or if it was relatively close.
I mean, it looks like it has a pretty good location for this movie because it looks very isolated.
Yeah.
From other houses nearby.
Yeah, I'm talking about like the aesthetic of the house.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about the location too because I think like that had a lot to play with it because they seem very like distance from the world. They couldn't just reach out and ask for help. Yeah.
Also, Bertino's has been cited several influential films that inspired this movie as well. He has been known for saying "Don't Look Now" was known for its atmospheric horror that he drew from. The Exorcist influenced the film's approach to the supernatural stuff. And The Shining, with the isolation settings and psychological horror elements, were particularly impactful for him.
That's effective.
Which I can see a lot of that in this movie.
Yeah.
He does it well. And then the film helped shape Bertino's vision, focusing on that again, that atmosphere, psychological tension, and the interplay between personal trauma and supernatural elements. Bertino's approach to horror, as seen in The Dark and the Wicked, emphasizes atmosphere, practical effects, and a deeply personal connection to the story setting, and themes. And then, I forgot my train of thought, what I was going to say there. In my notes, I have M. Night Shyamalan, eat my shorts. That's what caught me off. I was like laughing in my head. I'm like, that's hilarious. He needs to take some notes as well with this. Oh, gosh. You don't need a twist. You don't need an epic twist.
We are here to admire all horror.
I know.
And appreciate it for its differences. It's not for you.
M. Night Shyamalan.
We're closing that tab. Pineapple.
I'm just saying, guys.
Pineapple.
Hey, I will go to battle. I will die on that hill, okay?
You do that. I'll go get some ice cream while you're doing that.
Oh my god.
Some gelato.
So I mean, this movie, I can't say it enough. The atmospheric horror and then the authentic settings play to it. Slow build and tension. You get on me about not liking slow movies. And I was so excited. I'm like,
it wasn't slow. There's stuff happening throughout.
Barely, but it's a very slow build up.
It's not very slow.
Like again, I'm just shots fired. Mike Flanagan, take some notes.
Leave him out of this.
I'm just impressed with this movie. Everybody's going like, "Oh my god, Richard, back off, man! You're just fucking on this dude's nuts." But it's really good, man. This movie, to me, he got it right. He just got it right.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, I thought the writing was good.
The
I thought
aesthetic.
the aesthetic, everything. We keep saying it, but how this movie was shot, the pacing of this movie was great. It was slow burn, but man, like you said, it didn't feel very slow because when the things got going, it got rocking and rolling. Like it was one thing after another.
It was paced. It was like
Just
stuff
when
was
you
happening and then a bang.
Well, so just when you're like settling down from the previous incident that happened, the next one was right there.
I feel like the thing that did it for me too a lot was the sounds, the
Yes.
sound effects. So at times, they just
Built the tension.
It just creeps up on you and you're expecting something, and some of the angles and some of the scenes, they're just shooting, pointing at essentially nothing, at doorway.
Yeah.
But the music and the atmosphere and the motion of the camera, you're waiting for something.
And it makes your imagination go wild.
And you're just like so tense, like waiting for the next thing to happen.
Yeah, and that to me is effective movie making. Like that's what I like. So if you're not going to give a whole lot away, you're feeding into the imagination at least. You better be. And he did. He delivered on that 100%.
Fed you were having nightmares.
I did, man. So guys, I'm in my mid 30s. I'm 34, but I still have nightmares. It's crazy. I grew up like this. They're not as bad as they were growing up, but I still continue to have nightmares. Especially if I see something disturbing like this. I'm definitely going to be dreaming about it. Love it.
You need a stuffy animal so you can cuddle it.
No, fuck that.
I fucked it. I'll let you borrow my cat.
Oh my God. Stupid. Wellesley, our grandchild.
She'll keep you company.
No, she won't. She runs away. I'm like that stupid cat.
She barely knows you.
Before we get to the plot, do you want to take a quick break?
Sure.
All right. We will be right back. Ever feel like your family reunions are straight out of a horror movie?
Or that your farmhouse might be a little too haunted?
Introducing Eternal Peace Life Insurance, because you never know when the dark and wicked might decide to crash your party.
With Eternal Peace Life Insurance, you can rest in peace. Rest easy. Knowing your loved ones are covered, even if you're sucked into a supernatural abyss.
Our policies cover everything from mysterious disappearances to unexplained hauntings. Got a demon problem? No worries, we got you covered.
And with our 24/7 exorcism hotline, you'll have help faster than you can say, "Get out!"
Plus, our new Ghostbusters clause means extra protection against those pesky poltergeists.
Eternal Peace Life Insurance, because dealing with the supernatural is bad enough without worrying about your life insurance policy.
Call now for a free consultation, and remember, it's not just life insurance, it's peace of mind insurance. Eternal Peace Life Insurance does not guarantee protection against actual supernatural occurrences, demonic possessions, or haunted house infestations. Terms and conditions apply. Get your spiciness at my little spicy jalapeno.
I don't like jalapenos.
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 Welcome back, guys.
You
I was
have
just sitting here for
returned.
30 minutes while Angela's...
Fucking exaggeration.
She's our social media expert. She got
No, I
she
am
got
not.
she got the social out, which is great. Thank you, by the way. That looks great.
Oh, thanks.
We're just announcing it. It's Friday. Dark and the Wicked coming Monday.
Boop boop.
Womp womp. Anyways, that was a good break. I felt re-energized. Like it was just building.
It's building. Did you go to your crawl space and let it out?
Yep. I screamed. I was like, ah. I'm gonna let my battle cry out. Do we want to get into the plot?
You need to pick one.
Just one?
And stick. Yes, I only
Why?
write one. Richard is so competitive.
Well, I got two versions. Okay,
How
I'll
many
pick one.
versions did you write this
I'll
time?
pick one. I wrote two.
You told me over the phone it was 4. I was like, oh my.
That's just my
Freaking-
That's just my competitiveness.
I know. I'm like, what the hell?
I only wrote two. I didn't have time for 4 of those.
I was
There's
like,
no
oh
way.
my God.
It was a stretch getting 2 out, to be honest with you. And they're actually pretty similar.
They're
Anyways,
pretty similar.
like we do, you go first.
Oh, you want
Let's
me to
get ready to rumble.
go? Dun. This one was hard to write.
Fighting at a Colima, Mexico.
Stupid.
Angeles.
To kick Richard's ass. Yeah.
Fighting out of Spokane, Washington. Richard Antahone.
Straight from Germany.
Did we ever talk about my middle name being that way?
No.
So, side story real quick before we get to the plot. It's fucking hilarious. My mom, I don't know, like, apparently I was a huge baby. She gave birth to a huge baby. She was taxed, worn out. And then when it came time to spell Little Richard's middle name, she spelled Aunt Tahoney.
Not Anthony.
Yeah, Antahone. A-N-T.
H-O. No.
Anyway.
N-A-N-T-O-H-O.
I don't even know how the fuck is it
You don't
spelled. Let
even
me
know
pull
how
it
to
out.
spell your middle name? Your legal middle name?
I have it right here. It's Anthohony. I've got 2 fucking O's, man.
Antohony.
So shout out, Mom. I appreciate the fucking awesome middle name, Antahone.
It's unique.
I know.
Now, yeah, I have a unique kind of first name, and you have a unique middle name. Nobody else has it.
It's nobody.
Nobody
So
but
shout
you.
shout out to my illiterate mom.
Dude, when you're in there in the ringer, drugged up, you don't want to be right filling out forms.
I know.
That's bananas.
And my missing sperm donor of a dad, where the fuck was he? I was named after the bastard.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding. I love you, Dad.
Is gonna come knocking on your door.
It's like, God damn it.
What did you say?
He's like, I heard you.
Yeah.
I meant every word. Just joking.
Oh my God, that look on your face. So fired up.
I'm kidding. We have fun here. We have fun.
I joke.
I kid. Okay, so anyways, let's get back to it. Angelus.
Si, señor.
The dark and the wicked plot,
My plot.
if you will.
If I will, I guess I shall humor you.
Please.
Because you asked so nicely.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. A distant family comes together to accompany their ill father, which results in a wake from hell. Soon after their arrival, they find their beliefs put to the test with their mother's eerie behavior, inexplicable happenings, and mysterious visits from an unwanted entity. As the family questions everything they've ever believed in, they come to the conclusion that they should have listened to their mom and stayed away from home. Hashtag mother knows best. Hashtag farm possessions. Hashtag how to exercise my farm.
Okay. One little extra there. The blinking light was going off. Like, okay, wrap it up.
I got carried away with the hash browns.
We love our hash browns.
I needed to add humor somehow. I'm like, oh my God, how did I make this funny?
Okay, here's mine.
Okay.
Louise and Michael return to their family farm to care for their dying father. Thinking it's just a somber family reunion, instead, they find themselves in a horror show with a ghostly goat herd and a farmhouse that's more haunted than Halloween store in October. As creepy apparitions and spine-chilling events unfold, the siblings must muster the courage and maybe a bit of humor to confront the sinister forces at play. The farm turns out to have more dark secrets than a teenager's diary, leaving Louise and Michael in a fight for their sanity and survival. Boom.
Who writes diaries now?
I don't know, man. Teenagers.
I don't.
I've got a dream journal, okay?
You never write in it. Are you kidding me? You pouted because I got a fucking calendar for the podcast. And you have a dream journal?
I just don't like organization, okay? I live in chaos.
Really?
I live in chaos.
Richard, put something here on this calendar. You send out the calendar invitations.
You do that stuff. I do the creative stuff. Okay? That was our agreement, goddammit. Oh.
Oh my
I'm
god.
a broad strokes kind of guy. You're the fine strokes. I'm the broad
I'll
strokes.
have to go and erase your broad stroke.
Anyways, how'd you like my plot?
It was good.
It was good, huh?
I liked it.
Thank you. I liked yours too.
Thanks.
Hash brown. Great.
Oh my god.
All right, let's let Angelus regain her thoughts here. Control yourself. Bring it back in. Breathe.
The thought of you having a dream journal, fuck. You didn't even want to add dates to the calendar. What day was the concert again?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I think I'm
My
done.
dear journal. It was a
Good night.
crazy night.
Tonight, I had a dream about the devil
Oh my god.
chasing me. I lived in the farm with the goats.
So I apologize to the listeners. We've kind of went off the rails. The train has left the station. I don't think Angelus is coming back.
This is like the third time you made me cry laugh today.
I'm on a roll, dude. Oh, hey, we like each other's company, okay? We laugh together. That's great.
They say, laughter is good for your
For your soul.
soul, man. Okay.
Okay, you ready?
So just don't say anything else funny.
We need the humor because this movie was fucking dark. I lied in the plot and said they need a little humor to get by. There is no humor in this.
No.
It is bleak.
I was trying to find something and
It was bleak, dog.
it's good. It's horror.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they took the fun out of it. They sucked the fun out of this fucking thing. So anyways, scene for scene breakdown. Here we go.
Boom.
We're coming in.
Happened. I can't look at you right now.
So our opening scene, it's quiet. It's very quiet. It's building up the sound, which we come into the scene. Now we see the mom, I believe, doing kind of like chores, right? She's in her, because it shows her making a clothing. She's cutting cloth or whatever.
She's sewing.
With mannequins all around her, which is creepy as fuck. And this horribly lit, like, warehouse thing that's built off their house.
Was this room like next to the house or by the barn?
I think it was next to the house in the middle, kind of in the middle of the barn and the
They
house.
never quite show like from the outside of the location. They just keep taking you to this room.
Creepy as fuck though. Those mannequins are old and gnarly.
And she's
Singing
she's in there.
too,
She's
right?
singing her little trials song.
Yeah, and it's creepy. But then, so she gets out of there and it shows the mannequin and creepy. You think the mannequin's like head's gonna turn, but it doesn't. But still crazy. And then she turns the light out and then she starts heading out to where the goats are. And that's where the sound really, the impact happens initially, is that the goats, they really amped up that sound of the, I don't know what they call that when goats are making noise. It's like
Bleating.
Yeah. They're doing their thing. They're kind of riled up, it sounds like. And she's going out to kind of check on them, see what's going on.
You can hear the chimes that she has hanging to going.
Which is interesting. Is that for wolves? Like to alert them that like wolves are coming in to harm the goats?
I think so, because I think goats get scared pretty easy. So if they hear a noise, I'm assuming it was supposed to give them at least a warning.
Yeah.
Or at least the people, the owners, to know that there's something besides their goats coming in there.
But then it also serves as for supernatural too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But as the goats are like circling, it has a very brief image. Remember that? We paused it, or we try to like pause it. It looks like a bald boy demon. You don't remember that?
Oh, yes.
And he's in the goats.
Yeah, all the goats just kind of come to a still. And it's really, really windy. So that's kind of effective too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like they were playing with the idea of possession, like something's coming, the wind is going to blow something in.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's super, super quick. So if you watch it, you have to be like on the lookout for it.
Yeah, you could easily miss it. You did the first time.
Yeah, because it blends right in and you just see the face and it has horns. Just
Was
dark.
there horns?
Yeah,
Because I
there's-
thought it was bald.
I saw horns. I don't know if it was his horns or the goat's horns. I saw horns
I
coming
thought it
out
was
and
a bald. It
face.
looked like a little boy, like a demon boy.
It was a boy. It was a man.
Was it?
Mhm.
Oh shit! We might have to pause and look at it again.
I
But
paused.
no, that was creepy. And then she gets in there and she's kind of talking to the goats, doing her thing, looking outside. You hear wolves. That's another creepy thing. The wolves are howling.
Yeah, and then you see her husband is laying.
Oh, she
Sick.
goes back inside, and then that's when you see her husband laying there unconscious.
Yeah, and she's in her kitchen. She's making her meals, prepping for the week. I'm just kidding.
So she is like she's
She's
cutting,
chopping veggies.
she's chopping it up, still in her own head. And then the creepy part of that is initially is the dining room table, the chair. It's pulled out, and you hear it behind her. You don't see it. You just hear the chair being
The
dragged.
creak, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's sitting like facing her, so like the demon's sitting down watching her.
So for this movie, we try not to get lost like we did a little bit with Blair Witch. So I wrote down the days as they were happening.
Yeah, this was Sunday.
This was on Sunday, yeah. So then you see the title comes up, The Dark and the Wicked.
Yeah.
And then we roll into Monday.
Yeah, and then this is where Michael and Louise show up.
Mm-hmm.
So it has Louise coming up to the gate. She opens the gate, rolls in. Does she initially talk to her mom first, or does she see Michael and Charlie?
No, she goes in to see her mom first.
And she's like, "You shouldn't be here."
Well, she says, your brother got here a couple hours ago already. She's like, I told you not to come here. Like, you guys don't need to be here. But she's being short about it.
Yeah, kind of cold.
Yeah, and it was just kind of like a tension. There's not a lot of talking. Like, how's it going? It's just
Yeah, how you doing?
there, yeah. And then you see they have an in-house nurse for their dad. And she's just knitting, minding kind of her own business.
Just listen to the cheese, man.
Mm-hmm. And then Louise goes out to meet Michael and Charlie, and they're out
Yeah, changing a tire.
changing a tire. She's like, you guys need help?
Yeah.
And then Michael just says, I think mom looks tired. And fucking Louise, she's like, mom looks like shit.
Yeah, she looks like fucking shit, dude. Which, no wonder, after we're about to see what's happening.
To this poor woman.
Yeah, and what eventually happens to them, because it takes, a couple days, and they start looking like shit.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's almost instantly, it's just like sucking the energy out of them.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Everyone
not
in the
knowing
house.
it, you know what I mean? There's just like looming darkness that they don't realize. So they get together, they're bullshitting, and then they get back to the house, right? And they start eating dinner.
Yeah.
And it's still quiet. They're not saying much. You can tell this family's very reserved. They're not outgoing.
Or they're distanced.
Yeah, they're very distant too. Like you can tell like they all kind of live in different areas. They don't live in the same town.
Mm-hmm.
Like Michael lives somewhere and then Louise lives somewhere else. So they're all sitting there. You can tell they're a family, but they have a weird dynamic. They're just quiet.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to comfort each other. It looks like they're very cold.
Yeah. Michael, he tries to make an effort and he's like, Mom, like food was really good. And I think too, they're kind of put off by the mom's attitude because the entire time she's quiet. This is her house.
Well, I don't think they're put off. I think they're concerned. Fuck, she's fucked up.
Well, yeah, there's something going on.
But they think it's her. They think because it's the dad has taken a turn for the worse.
Yeah, she's just looking down at her dinner, just eating it quietly. And he's like, hey, like food was good. And she doesn't say anything. And then Louise chips in and she's like, hey, I thought like you guys weren't having any more babies. She's like, and it looks like there's a bunch of baby goats.
And she's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And she's like, Dad said to keep working, so that's what we're going to keep doing, and nothing matters.
Yeah.
And yeah, Michael tries to comfort her again, thinking that it's a dad thing. And
Yeah,
he's like, hey.
Everything's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, what's going to be okay? And she's like, God, so stupid. You guys are stupid. Why'd you come here? I told you not to come.
Yeah, and this is the first time that she starts with the whole, go home.
Yeah.
And
I'd be like, fuck you too, Mom.
You would have?
Okay, dude, I would be like, oh, you don't want me here? I get it. You're going through some shit. I would give her the benefit of the doubt initially, but if you kept pushing me away, I'd be like, okay, I'm getting out of this shithole. I'm going back to my life.
This is some rich, southern, wholesome family, Richard.
I know. But no, they did the right thing. He's trying to comfort, but he's like, okay. They get quiet, and then it shows them go outside, and they're bullshitting together. You can tell they're a little more lax. They're drinking, talking, smoking, and they're talking about Mom like, God, what's
her behavior?
Yeah, behavior's weird. And he's like, man, she's like, yeah, I didn't know. Should I have hugged her? I feel like I should have.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that would have solved everything.
But she's not the hugging type.
No.
And then you get a feel, like I was saying, that there may be distance because Michael brings up his daughters. He has daughters.
Yeah, well, so this tells you there's distance, right? Because he's like, well, my kids are doing good. My daughters are doing
Since
good.
you didn't ask.
Yeah. Well, I think he was trying to change the subject. And she felt bad because she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I should have reached out. And he's like, it's all good.
And she's like, sorry. Yeah, she didn't call for the kids' birthdays.
Which you can tell she's kind of the black sheep of the family.
Yeah.
Because they make the comment because he asks, hey, man, are you still at the post office? And she's like, no.
And then he asked when's the last time that she's talked to their parents. And she's like, well, they called me for my birthday. So May.
Yeah, last time Dad was coherent, I talked to him in May.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, last time I talked to him, he was gone.
Yeah. And then you talking about how long they think they're going to be there. Michael says he's expecting to be at the farm visiting for a week. And
well, yeah, he was like, maybe
Friday.
Yeah, he's like, maybe Friday I'll take off. And so that's kind of the plan. And then it kind of cuts out. They're done for the night, right?
Yeah. And Michael jumps in the shower, and then you could just kind of see everybody's routine. So Mom sleeps in bed with their dad.
Because, yeah, I think at this point, he comes behind her because he's sitting at the table, right? Or is that the next night?
That's the next night, yeah.
Oh.
So they're laying down, and Louise is kind of doing her thing. And, like, I think it's the kitchen. She's getting water.
Yeah.
And then this is where your first, like, supernatural occurrence takes place. Like, you hear their front door open. In the middle of the night, whatever time this is happening.
This was creepy.
The music just intensifies.
And she doesn't see it. Louise doesn't see it. But coming out of the bedroom, there's someone standing there. A tall, dark figure is standing in the bedroom of her mom and dad's room. But she walks by that and to look at the door. And she's just watching the door. And then that's when her mom's like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's her mom in the doorway this time, which wasn't beforehand.
Yeah, she's like, oh, it's probably just the wind. And she closes and locks the door behind her. And then this is the part where in the kitchen, Michael's like looking at paperwork. I'm not sure if he's helping him with something.
Yeah.
And then
like
his mom is cooking. And then she's singing this song again. Every trials and temptations is their trouble. And he's like, hey, Mom, maybe like you should get some rest. Maybe you should go to get some sleep. And
she ignores him. And
she responds again, and she does the whole,
oh, you shouldn't
go.
Be here. Yeah.
She's like, it's not what you think, but you should go. He's like, well, what is it then? Like, tell me. And yeah, that's where she ignores him.
He tries to comfort her and then kisses her on the back of her head and then walks away. Goes to bed.
And then
then it shows it goes black for a second, and then it shows her still, I
cooking.
guess this is her stress reliever is just cutting up and prepping food.
Yeah.
But she's doing that and she's chopping, and all of a sudden that chair moves again and it sits down watching her, and she stops for a second, acknowledges it, but then goes back to what she's doing. Thinking, you can tell she's trying to ignore it, but like, fuck this. Yeah. It's going to go away. but it doesn't. And as she's chopping, it gets more extreme. And this is where I kind of got confused. Like, is this like, this is where now the demon does have the power to, or the devil, I don't know what it is, power to take control of the person, possess the person, because then it makes her chop her hand, her fingers off. This was an intense fucking scene. Like, I don't know how you felt about it. Like body, like this stuff, like body horror freaks me out. I don't like it. It makes my stomach turn.
I know you had seen this, so I kind of had a feeling something was coming up because you started turning and hiding.
Well, and the tension's building with the knife just chopping.
Well,
the chopping gets louder.
It was a chopping closer to her fingers, and it goes back and forth between her
and the
face.
volume of the chop was getting louder.
Yeah, and then it starts getting aggressive, and you can see it on her face too. Like the aggression is just going faster and faster.
Yeah.
And then clearly they show the entire thing just cut across.
To cut it,
fingers.
and you can tell she's in pain, doesn't want to. But then, no, the devil doesn't stop there. No, he has her just mangling, mashing her fucking fingers up.
She's crying.
Yeah, she's just hacking up and then mincing her fingers, and then one of the fingers lands into the sink.
Yeah.
Like the tip of it. That was so gross. It made me cringe. We got to show Maria that.
You gotta And then you roll into Tuesday.
Well, yeah, Tuesday. And there's blood everywhere. You see it like it's morning time, super early in the morning. Sun's coming in, but that blood is still there all over the floor in the sink. Mm-hmm. And then you see Michael and Louise. They're running out the door yelling for their mom. Because clearly they seen the kitchen. It's fucked up.
Fingers, yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're running around looking for her, yelling for her, calling her out. They're looking in the stables. They're looking in just out in the fields. And Louise is the one who's out by the goats and close to the barn.
Could you imagine how fucking devastating that would be? Oh my God.
She turns around and kind of like freezes for a second.
We see the mom first. Before she does. So you watch her like kind of running around over there while that body's hanging there in front of you.
Yeah, the camera zooms out and you just see it moves up her feet, just dangling above the air.
Fucking crazy. And then, Louise goes running for her and then she can't do anything. She's trying to like lift her up, but not working, but she's screaming for Mike to come.
Yeah, so he comes, helps her. He lifts her up. The one thing that I told you too, I was like, there's like no one, there's nothing around her. How does she get up there?
Exactly.
And so she pulls this like tub that was on the side.
Well, clearly it's meant to show you like that tub there's nothing underneath her and nothing relatively close because she went out of scene, grabbed that horse trough or whatever that thing is to stand on, and Michael gives her the knife to cut her down. But it shows like how'd she get up there? Yeah. Only supernatural.
And then it's Wednesday.
And they're still devastated. They're sitting there at the table just fucking...
in silence, yeah.
Which, I don't blame them, man. I would be whacked out of my mind, too. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I just got here. It's depressing. Dad's in a coma. Mom is lost in her mind, and she eventually took her life. Could you imagine that? I don't know if I could stay. I'd be like, dude... we gotta fucking send him to the hospital. I'm not doing this shit no more.
Probably feel a little guilty too because they went there and they could sense that there was something up with her, but they didn't know. So how were they supposed to help her?
Well, so
as far as they're concerned, she committed suicide.
So I think they felt guilty with how they handled it because, they're not close. Like, they don't show love like normal people. Like, obviously, they don't know how to talk about emotions and stuff. So I think they felt bad about that. Like, they could have done better.
Oh, I would have been fucking, yeah.
Yeah.
So, they're sitting at the table just kind of fucking processing. And then you see Charlie. He's out helping them with the farm. He's feeding the goats. So,
real quick, just to backtrack, when the mom is hacking up her fingers, she is purposely not screaming. Like, it's taking everything she has to be quiet because she doesn't want to introduce her kids to this thing.
Yeah.
And thinking like, hey, if I just keep it inside. And that's why she's not telling them anything. She doesn't want this to transfer to them.
To leave.
Yeah, she doesn't want this to transfer to them. What she keeps in her screams. Could you imagine?
No.
Fucking just silent screaming. My fucking God. That is crazy. And it shows that this thing, because she mentions it, wanting to hurt her, like hurt herself, it's putting it in her head.
Well, they figure that out as when they find her diary.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So they're there, and then both Louise and Michael are in the room with their dad, and then the nurse shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's just, I'm so sorry, like, about your loss. Like, I brought you guys some food. And then that's where she's like, all right, like, your mom passed away. Now I feel like I can speak a little bit more freely. And she's like, I didn't want to say anything before.
Yeah, I felt out of place.
Like, your mom, has not been acting herself lately. She's been saying things. She's like, she was talking when she thought that I wasn't listening. Like, she was talking to their dad. And they're like, well, what? Like, what was she saying? And she's like, oh, she would just sit next to him and whisper. She's like, but it didn't look like she was talking directly to him. She was talking to
someone else.
To someone else that was there with them. Yeah. And she's like, I thought like having family here was going to make her like feel better, like have more people to help her. And, but apparently that didn't work. And then she offers like, her mom used to be the one to be the caregiver for their dad at night.
Yeah.
She's like, I can arrange something and then come in and help you guys at night. And that's when Louise was like, that guilt, I think, kicked in. Yeah. And she's like, no, she's like, show me how to do it. Like, I got it. I'll stay here with him and take care of him.
Yeah, I think guilt, and two, I don't think she has anywhere else to go at this point. And like, she doesn't have a job. I think it was implied.
Oh.
Like, I think she has nowhere to go.
And then Michael suggests, let's just take him to the hospital. And again, Louise insists on like, no, I'll do it. Yeah. And then you go back to the mom's.
What a mistake that was, man. Yeah. Oh my God.
And then
see, in that situation, I'm like, no, fuck this. We're sending him to the hospital. We're not doing this. This is not a long-term solution.
Yeah, because he sounded like he was in pretty bad health.
Either that or I got another option. It involves the pillow, his face.
How about a hospital?
I'm like, I love you, Dad.
Jesus.
I'm kidding.
You're getting dark, too. You're affected by this movie.
Oh, my God. Hey, man.
What?
Fucking, if it gets the devil off my heels, I'm good. I'm good to go.
Oh my gosh. No.
Not today, devil, not today.
And then they go to their mom's, her sewing craft room that she has.
Yeah.
They're looking around, and I thought this was kind of interesting. So they uncover one of those, it's not a mannequin. I don't know what it's called, where they put the dresses on when you're making dresses.
Yeah, I forgot. I'm just going to call it a mannequin.
Okay. And it's cover, and Louise lifts up the cover of it, and it's a white dress. And there's a name card on it that has Louise's name on it.
It was her wedding dress that she never wore.
Sad day.
Which gives her even more guilty, like feelings.
Shit, my mom made me a dress.
Yeah.
Yeah. So much family drama. It's amazing. It's awesome. And then this next scene, so they're on the road with Charlie, and I was a little confused because I was trying to piece together what was happening.
I didn't know. So this was like because Charlie mentions, he's like, yeah, I used to send them all out here, but now I only send out the special ones. I think it's pets. Like it was a pet cemetery type of thing where you would take and bury the family pets.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because one of the graves had a collar on it.
Oh.
And clearly Charlie, he was emotional because he was working the day the mom died. Mm-hmm. And he kind of teared up. He was wiping the tear off while he was like wrangling the goats or whatever.
Yeah.
And then this over here, he gets emotional too when he's talking about it. And then he walks away.
Because I was trying to figure out, all I could like put together was there's a shovel and like some rocks.
Before you came in, that's what I was watching. I just left that scene because I was wondering. I rewound. I'm like, what is that? And I think it's their pet cemetery.
Okay. Yeah, and then they're out there, and then again, Michael, you can tell he's upset about the whole thing. And Louise was like, what? Like, who was she talking to? Again, their mom. Like, why did she bring that? She brought up her mom. And Michael immediately, he's like, don't do that. He's like, it doesn't matter. And he's angry, I think, is what I got from this scene.
Yeah, frustrated,
like,
anger. He's mad at himself, too. He's kicking himself.
Yeah, he's like, we don't, she doesn't know what she was doing. She chopped her fingers and made herself die. And,
she did that to herself. Yeah.
And Louise was like, well, maybe we should have talked to her. And he's like, well, it's too late for that.
Yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
And he storms off, and she's upset about it. And then she goes and hugs Charlie, and he's saying it's all good. Everybody's grieving in their own way, type of thing.
Yeah, and then they go back home, and then you see Louise. She hops in the shower. She's in there doing her thing, and you hear the door open, and it's really effective. Like, this house is an old cabin. All the doors creak.
She's like, God, can I just have a minute? I'm almost done.
Yeah, and because you hear footsteps as this like thing approaches.
Yeah.
And did she pull the curtain open, or did he pull?
She did. She opened, and then her dad's standing right there with those fucking creepy eyes.
Glass eyes. Yeah. Peeing himself.
Yeah. Why did demons that possess you always pee? We watched another movie where they're peeing themselves.
Jennifer. Oh, It Follows.
Yeah. What the fuck's up with that?
Their bladders don't work, man.
God,
they possess.
They're probably
too many.
pooping themselves too.
They possess themselves. They possess too many people. Their bladders got loose.
Damn, dude.
I don't fucking know.
So yeah, and then she's curled up in a ball.
She fucking freaks out.
Yeah, she's screaming, Dad's in here, Dad's in here. And then her brother comes in. He looks, he's like, what the fuck? He's like weirded out. He's like,
well, the other thing, this demon and the figure of her dad, like the head starts going too.
Yeah. Which I really like that they really used minimal CGI on this. Like, they had it clearly, but it was mainly practical effects. But right here was a CGI moment. I think they did a really good job with that.
Okay. Yeah. I like this movie.
But her brother comes in, and he's awkward too. He's like, you're naked. What the fuck? And then he just like looks at her for a second and then gets out of there. He's like, fuck, she's losing her fucking mind.
Yeah. And then they go in and check on their dad, and he's perfectly fine, just laying in bed.
Yeah. Well, it shows Michael over him, kind of looking at him like,
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This bitch is crazy.
And you can tell she feels a little stupid because she's like, I swear, like, and then she starts questioning herself.
Yeah. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah.
And she's like, you know what? It's stupid. I don't want to talk about it. And she walks out. One important thing I feel like with them that you don't touch on it until like halfway through the movie is that they're non-believers. They're atheists. So it's really hard for them to come across believing that there's something supernatural when they've never been believers of it.
Yeah. They're not. Is that atheism that they don't believe in anything?
Yeah, they said they're atheists when they're later on in the movie.
Oh, gotcha.
So she goes outside, smokes a cigarette, tries to like fucking cool off.
Yeah.
And then Michael goes to follow her, and when he turns, he like kicks something on the floor next to the bed, and it's their mom's diary.
Dream journal.
The dream. So he brings it out, and he tells her, and she thinks that he's coming to talk to her about her whole scene and what she thinks she saw. And he's like, dude, I found our mom's diary. And she's like, what the hell? She's like, did you read it? And he's like, well, only the last page. And he read the last page, and it says, I know he's in there in the darkness. Help me, please, help me. He's killing David. He can't breathe anymore. There's nothing I can do to stop it. Devil, devil, devil. He wants David's soul.
Help me, baby Jesus.
That would be fucking eerie to read on your mom's diary.
Well, yeah, especially if she died. I'm like, holy shit, mom is off her rocker.
I think...
You know what I'd be thinking? I'm like, you know what? Mom picked up an extra hobby. That's it.
You know what? I would have grabbed that, drown it in holy water, and burn.
Mom was a Long Island medium. That's crazy.
And fucking peace out.
John Edwards, she reads minds. That's crazy. Or she sees dead people.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then you go to Thursday, and then they're back in her little sewing room. And this is when Michael, he's like, dude, he's like, how the hell did mom get up there? And he's like, you had to physically move that thing in order to get
Yeah.
up there and cut the rope.
He starts like piecing it together. Like, dude, some weird shit's happening.
Yeah, he's like, she was floating, and she's carrying from here on. Like, you see Louise a lot carrying on and holding on to their mom's diary.
Yeah.
And then she reads another piece of the diary where it says, the voices in my head, he makes me want to die. I locked the door, and he came inside the room. I want David to wake up. I squeeze his hand. That sound, so many mouths. He hurts David. I can hear him. I see him. He laughs at me. He kills me. I'm already dead.
Dang.
It's dark.
So, yeah, I mean, that just shows you like the power this thing has over people, because it clearly, I think she got so weak that it just finally consumed her, like,
Yeah.
and it killed her. Because I think you can fight it for so long, and then it just
You can only
boom.
ignore it so long. Yeah.
Yeah, until the voices in your head just fucking
Yeah.
make you want to kill yourself.
I would have been like, oh shit, no wonder she didn't want me to come.
Yeah, I'm like, I done fucked up. I should have went home.
And then they go to the morgue. They're talking to the, gosh, what's his position?
I'm a mortician.
The mortician.
Yeah. He's like, I found these in the pocket, and then a bunch of crosses, and this is where you find that she's not religious.
Yeah, and they're confused, and Louise is like, what? She's like, she didn't go to church, because the mortician says that he remembers getting those specific
Yeah,
type
in
of
school.
crosses in school. She's like, she didn't go. And then you see their mom's hand sticking out a little bit, or like it's uncovered.
Mm-hmm.
And you just see someone cover it like they don't want to see it.
Well, the hand, the hand's mangled. But yeah, they take the crosses, but they think that's weird because she's never religious growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And then as they're rolling out,
Yeah, they go back home. And then,
it's pouring rain.
Yeah, they go home. Louise is sitting to her dad, putting lotion on him, cleaning him up, doing whatever.
Yeah.
Hot towel baths, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he starts coughing up.
Oh, yeah, dude. He's like choking.
Yeah.
And she's like, whoa, what's going on? Open his mouth, and all of a sudden a fucking spider pops. That was so creepy.
Yeah, and it's like running up and down. So she fucking freaks out and starts pulling off the blankets looking for this spider.
And that could have been comic relief. She was just beating the shit out of her dad
Just-
trying to get the spider.
I think that's what it looked like, because when Michael walks by,
He's like, whoa, what's
he
going on?
sees her and she's like in the blankets underneath pulling. And yeah, he's like, are you okay?
Yeah.
And
And she's like, oh, spider.
questioning her sanity again. This fucking poor girl. She's like, I thought I saw a spider because it's gone. Again, it's just fucking with her at this point.
Yeah.
And then,
And then he's like, hey, man, did you get it?
yeah, and then Michael tells her, you should like probably get some rest. And then he tells her that in the morning he's gonna be out getting groceries for them. And she's in the kitchen in the sink, and then like those covers for the sink.
Yeah, to plug the drain.
She notices there's a little bit of, I think, blood left over
mom's
from their
blood,
mom.
and that trips her up. She's like, fuck. Not cool, bro.
Yeah. And instead of fucking going to bed, she takes her mom's diary again. And
Starts
she
reading
goes
it.
outside, and you hear a lot of like wolves howling. And she goes to bed. Michael goes to bed. And then you see Michael asleep, and then his fucking
the light turns
bedroom
on.
light, yeah.
And he wakes up. He's like, oh, he gets up and turns the light off, goes back, lays down.
Mm-hmm.
Lights turn on again. This time he's freaked out. He turns. He doesn't want to get up. He's like looking, and then he slowly gets up, and then he turns the light off, but then he looks out the window,
Mm-hmm.
and then he sees his mom levitating, right?
Oh, dude.
Or she stands there and then starts levitating. He's creeped out. He's like, what the fuck?
It was like I think the lighting and everything in this was really affected that green lamp
Yeah.
outside.
That was intense because you could tell he was petrified, fucking like, dude, what am I seeing right now? I don't think he believed it, but
And
he was
it's
freaked out.
singing that little fucking song again.
Yeah. What's he do at this point?
He freaks out, closes the curtain. He turns around towards the light switch, And as he's walking towards
Yes,
he
she's in the
sees
house.
the mom fucking inside, and then the camera focuses on him. And right as he goes to turn on the light, you see her. Her face is literally right behind his head.
And he's like, ah.
And then we roll into Friday.
Yeah, he doesn't even say anything at this point, though.
Huh?
Again, I'd be like, dude, fucking
They're
call
not
me
talking
crazy.
to each other about this.
Again,
They're
this
brushing it
family,
off.
this family is very like tight-lipped. I don't know. Have you ever met people like this? Like that don't know how to talk about emotions and shit, like weakness, like it comes off as weakness
About emotions
and shit going on. Because I don't know. Have you? Because your family's not like that at all.
No, we're Mexican.
Yeah. I mean, your brother like freaked out. He had a haunted air compressor, man. He's like, nope, get out.
No, not this distant. They're really, really distant.
Yeah, they're not talking about it at all because she's having fucked up shit. Although she's a little bit more open than he is. He's very restrained.
I think she's questioning it. I think she's getting hit with more of this than he has. Like he's just started with seeing their mom outside.
Yeah.
Or what looks like his mom.
Yeah. Which could kind of show that like maybe not like physically, like, yeah, physically weaker, but I think she's just in a mental state. She's weaker right at this moment than he is, but he's slowly getting to that point.
Mm-hmm.
He's a tad behind her. So with that.
Louise wakes up, she goes to the bathroom, does her little routine, turns on the light, and she fucking sees lipstick all over like her mouth and then just up and down her face. That would have freaked me out too.
Dude, and then she's like, what the fuck? And goes and checks her dad.
Yeah.
And is his hands covered in it, or she finds the lipstick in the bed?
She finds the lipstick like tucked in between his torso and his arm.
Yeah.
Neatly like in there.
Like the devil made the dad do that.
Yeah, their dad, like Richard said, he's
incapacitated.
He's on like a breathing tube. He does not move, doesn't speak, nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she finds the lipstick, and then again, with the sounds just being affected, the phone starts ringing really loud.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes to pick it up, and it gets a busy tone, and it's like, sorry, blah, 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 the number that you call is out of service. And then as soon as she puts it back onto the receiver, it rings again. So she picks it up, and it's her mom's voice.
This was creepy. Told you not to come.
Yeah, she fucking hangs up. And then you see Michael rolling back to the barn from buying groceries, like he said he was going to do. And there's an old man, the priest, standing by the gate.
Oh, yeah, and it's pouring rain. And then he's like, oh, Michael. He knows who he is.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm a friend of your mom's.
Here, have a cross.
Yeah.
And
then that makes sense. Michael's like, oh, these is where these fucking things are coming from.
Yeah, he's been handing them to her.
And so at this point, Mike's not like alarmed. He's like, oh yeah, come in.
Yeah, he drives them up to their house.
Yeah, come on inside, we can talk.
He would, because they kind of seem like they live far from other properties. Yeah, this priest
it's a rural farmland, yeah.
And then he's standing there, so how did he get there?
Yeah, he walked up in there.
He fucking floated up there.
But yeah, he goes in, and it's a creepy conversation from the start. You know this conversation's kind of out of place. It's weird. Like right off the gate, you're supposed to be like not alarmed, right? Because it's a priest. Mm-hmm. But clearly there's this guy somewhat unhinged. You get the feeling, right? What do they start talking about?
They let him read off of her diary. The mom's diary.
Oh, yeah.
So he's reading, and then there's like a sentence in there that kind of resonates with Louise because it says, we're all dead, spiders on the face like tears.
Yeah.
She remembers maybe the spiders on her dad's face.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I've been visiting your guys' mom. She's really scared, very lonely. And he says this a lot. And he very emphasizes it. And I don't know if he was trying to make him feel guilty or what, but he was like, your mom was very lonely. Your man was very, very sad. She was lonely, sad. And I was like, this fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like, they're grieving their mom. And he's like, you guys are shitty kids.
Yeah, pretty much. But then he gets darker, too.
Yeah, and he's like, I wanted to meet you guys. He says that he was not aware of, like, the diary and how dark it was. And Louise was like, okay, well, you've been visiting her. Like, had you noticed anything? Has she been doing anything? He's like, she was not, like, that was not her personality. Like, like their normal mom. Louise was like, maybe like someone was telling her that stuff to write in the diary about dark and evil again because they're non-believers.
Well, Michael's like, you're feeding that shit to her.
Yeah, and he's like, Mom didn't believe in God. Like, none of us do. He's like, it's gotta be like, did you put that shit in her head?
Yeah, you had to been putting that shit in her head because he says something before that. I can't remember what he said.
So when Michael's going on and on that they don't believe in that stuff, the guy says, well, do you think a wolf cares if you believe that he's a wolf? Not if you're alone in the woods. So same thing, regardless of whether you believe in it or not, if it's real, it's real.
Yeah.
And Michael's like, well, what the hell have you been telling her? He's like, what truth are you telling her? Your truth? Like, again, your beliefs that you're putting in her head? And he's like, well, same thing could be said about you. Essentially, everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has their own beliefs and their truths. And again, with the whole, she was lonely and she needed help. And then he gets up, so he starts making like the notion that he's leaving, and then asks about their dad, how he's doing. He's like, I've been thinking about him a lot. And I was like, you creepy a-hole.
Man, you've been writing quote for quote, dog.
It was very deep, man.
Obviously, it has an effect on you.
Yeah. And then before he leaves, Michael asks him, like, do you really believe like that there's like a devil out there? And the guy is like, oh, he's already here.
Yeah, he's already here. Not out there. He's in here.
Yeah. And then nighttime. Again, Louise just fucking got in her head. She's carrying the diary, goes to the barn. She's looking at the rope where their mom hang herself. Reading. It looks like at one point like she's reading to the goats from the diary. And then she hears like the chimes go off. And then she calls out to Michael thinking that it's him checking up on her.
Right.
And then behind her, you just see like a shadow, like this figure just kind of following him around the property. And then meanwhile, Michael's calling his wife, Becky, just kind of letting out on her, venting to her. He wants to go home.
Right. And they're like, we'll come up and visit you. And he's like, no, you're not coming out here.
Yeah.
I don't want them to see my dad the way he is and all that.
Yeah, he's like, just tell the kids I love them. I'll see you guys soon. And then they're both outside, both Michael and Louise, just kind of chilling out. And then Louise, she asks, she's like, what if like their mom really did see something out there? Like starts questioning what she's believing in.
Right.
And he's like, well, maybe, he saw something and it wasn't a demon. And then he tells her about his experience where he says he thinks he saw their mom outside the window. But it was, again, he's still like, no, it wasn't her. He's like, but it was fucking scary. Just having seen that, the image, even if it was just an imagination.
So, yeah. You were saying he was what?
He tells her that he had seen what he thought was their mom outside on the window.
Yeah. So he's freaked out. He's like, you know what? I'm going to go tend to the new goats, right?
Not yet. They go to bed and then there's some noise happening. Michael wakes up and Louise is already up and in the living room.
Yeah, staring at the door.
She says that there's like scraping sounds coming.
Yeah, and there's howling.
Yeah, Michael goes to the door and opens it.
Well, he looks.
He looks through the little curtains.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck? The fucking priest.
Yeah, and he's
like, what are you doing here?
Creepy. He fucking gave me goosebumps.
He did open the door, though. He's like, what the fuck you doing here?
He's so creepy. He's just like, Michael, you should come outside. But he has like his whole standing, his demeanor. He's looking down.
And Michael's like, I'm going to go fuck shit up, dude. I'm going to fuck you up. And then Louise is like, don't. And then that's when the priest raises his head up and he's got the crazy eyes just like the dad did in the shower.
One thing that reminded me of this, because Michael's like,
what's
the hell?
He say, though?
Because Michael says, what the hell are you doing? It's like 3 a.m. So I don't know about other religions and Catholic religion with the possessions and everything. 3 a.m. is like the witching hour, supposedly when the devil wakes up and mocks the crucifixion.
Yeah, nothing good's happening around that time.
3 a.m. So that kind of gives you like, oh shit, you are the thing. Which reminds me of a funny story.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
Let's take a break from the dark.
Take a break from the dark. So we heard it so much in church, and then you see it in scary movies as well. Possession, scary movies, 3 a.m. Nothing like that's when the devil's awake and running.
Yeah.
So it's really fucking funny story. I have these two friends, and when they were dating, he was really into the whole 3 a.m. is scary. So sometimes he would go and hang out with her and would fall asleep. Oh. And if he would wake up, and if it was 3 a.m, he would not come home. He would wait.
Oh my God.
Until it was past after 3 or before 3 in order to go home, because he was scared he was going to run into something scary out and about.
At 3 a.m., why don't you just stay the night?
I don't know. They were teenagers and dating. And then
still 3 a.m. I ain't going anywhere. I'm just gonna be sleeping.
She was telling me he put that in her fucking head. Like, she didn't grow up under religion, but because he kept telling her that, now she says that she's scared of 3 a.m. in the morning. If she wakes up, she's like, oh shit.
Oh my God, that's funny.
I just thought it was funny. I was like, dude, you're not religious. She's like, I know, but I've heard about this 3 a.m. thing so much.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. How do you feel about it?
Shake it off, man. It's fine. It's nothing.
Oh my God, you actually believe? Nothing wrong with it.
Whatever. At least I don't wake up with nightmares.
Oh my God. Kidding. Hey man, subconsciously, I'm fucked up, okay? I got some demons.
Yeah.
So getting back to it.
He asks if they want a fucking rope. The priest.
Oh, why?
Because that's how their mom hung herself, remember?
Shit, I didn't put that together.
Yeah.
But then he disappears.
The phone rings, and so when they turn towards the phone...
Yeah, the priest is gone. Mike runs out.
I would not.
And then, but he's like, don't answer that phone.
It keeps ringing, and she hangs up.
Yeah. And then she disconnects the phone.
Mm-hmm. And then you go to Charlie, this fucking poor man by himself.
Dude.
Facing...
And shit's going down, too, because... He's in there and he's freaking out. He's the one calling the house.
Yeah.
And these fucking dumbasses don't answer the phone. I would be answering because I know he's a ranch hand. I'd be answering. I don't care if I heard my mom before. I'm going to answer the phone every time. And
I know, and
the dude's like, asking for help, man. He's like,
Michael, please answer. Yeah, freaking out. You hear howls are going the wolves are going crazy. You're howling.
Yeah, and then in his trailer, then you see the mom.
He grabs a shotgun and he like fucking
but
arms
who does he
himself.
See?
It's Louise.
Oh yeah, Louise is dead. She's all cut up and zombified.
Yeah,
like saying shit. And then
he's like, and then this scene creeped me out. It's a different kind of a possession. Like, her movements were so like robotic and automated.
Yeah,
and it almost looks
she was
like
jolting around.
Yeah.
So, but this is where Charlie, because you don't see a whole lot, but obviously he's broken down. And he's at his weakest because then the demon or the devil possesses him and then makes him, and this is a cringy scene too, he puts the shotgun in his mouth and it shows he pulls the trigger and then it shows the top of his head just get blown off.
Yeah.
That was fucking intense, dude.
The whole
how realistic
scene.
That was. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at that point too, because he tells her to leave, and if I had something like that in front of me, just looking like your friend's kid, and the way she was cutting herself and just speaking nonsense.
Clearly, their family, like he's part of the family because it's like reference that he's been there a while, like they've been a long time.
Oh yeah. And then you roll into Saturday, and Michael and Louise are outside looking for footsteps to see, I'm assuming, where the priest went. And then they're like, how about maybe like reach out to Charlie for help? And Louise mentions that Charlie hasn't answered his phone in a couple days.
Yeah.
And they're both getting desperate. Michael's like, dude, we need to get our dad in the hospital.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, like, did you see the priest? Like, did you see his face? Like, the glassy eyes?
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, it's not real. And like,
Yeah,
shrugs
he's
it
trying
off.
to. Yeah, he's like, dude, fuck this shit, man. We're tripping balls. We gotta just fucking figure this shit out. Let's get dad out of here. And then, so they're moving on. They're trying to figure that out. It's winding down. This is what we've got.
We're on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. So there'll be one more day.
Yeah. Louise calls the priest that was there the night before.
Yeah. And and she's like, hey, you were here? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm in Chicago. And she's like, no, you were here yesterday. And he's like, where? She was like, Texas. He's like, nah, man, I'm in Chicago. You called my hotel room.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? And then she says a name.
Virginia Stryker, their mom.
Yeah. And he's like, what?
Yeah. And he's like, are you trying to be funny?
Yeah. What kind of sick joke is this?
And then this confused me. And I'm thinking, this is what made me think that maybe she's talking to the devil. She called the devil or the demon or whatever it is.
No. No, I think she legit called the real guy.
Well,
that the devil's impersonating.
I was a little confused because, yeah, he's saying he's in Chicago in a hotel. But she asks about her mom, if he knows her. Yeah. And then he's like, her name was Louise. You sound just like her. And she killed herself like a long time ago. Yeah. I was like, what the hell is happening? Like, what? Like, this girl has the same.
So it was I think there's a whole different story going on.
Yeah.
It was fucked up because then, he's like reliving it. And she's like, oh, shit. Yeah, and she's freaked out on every level, dude. She's like,
she feels bad.
Well, yeah, she's like, oh, my God. And then she's freaked out. She's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then where do we see after that?
They bring the doctor because they're trying to.
Oh, yeah. Because they want to move. And then the doctor's checking him out, giving him a mini physical.
Yeah.
But then the doctor's like, he can't be moved. He'll die. He's pretty much on his last leg.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not signing off on any forms. It's too late.
Yeah, we can't do it.
And he's like, I can't let you guys
See,
kill
this
him.
is where I put the pillow over his face. Who's going to say it? It's good.
Oh, my God.
I think Father would understand. The dude's not even awake.
Michael and Louise are upset. They're like, dude, it's our dad. We want him safe. At the end of the day, this is our choice.
Yeah.
And then the nurse comes in. She's taking care of the dad.
Yeah.
And Michael starts, just making conversation with her. And he's like, hey, does it ever take a toll on you, like seeing so many sick people in your line of work? She says that she sees a lot of love. So I'm assuming family members, they're caring for their loved ones.
Yeah.
But she says that the other thing is that a lot of times it ends up being her seeing it. I'm assuming death, like seeing these people pass away.
Yeah. Helping them pass.
Yeah, and she says that the worst thing is for people to be alone. They need love and someone to be there.
Building up.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, building up what's gonna happen to all of them.
Yeah, and then she says, and then he kind of brings up and starts asking about their mom. He's like, she was saying that she thought that something was coming from what they've been reading in her diary.
Yeah.
And then she brings it up. She's like, dude, you're all freaked the fuck out. I can see it. I can feel it in this house. Right. She's like, I know you don't believe in God, but I do. There's bad things. They're going to come for whoever they want.
Well, yeah, even good people, it gets what it gets. It wants what it wants.
Yeah, she's like, but as long as there's love.
Yeah. You'll be fine.
A soul needs love to keep it safe. And I think this was like key of what was keeping David alive, their dad, for so long.
Yeah, it was love.
Their mom was there before, and now they are.
Yeah.
And then you see that goat running around with 3 legs.
Oh, yeah. And they're like, what the fuck? And it freshly lost leg. And like, what the hell? And then a bunch of the goats missing, and they go drive out there, Louise and Mike, and you see in the whole field, pretty much all their goats are dead, slaughtered, mutilated.
Yeah, and she's like, that's not a wolf. Like, a wolf wouldn't have done it like this.
No, a pack of wolves wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, and
It's something else. And he's like, oh, he doesn't say anything. He's just like, oh, fuck.
he's like, he says he's going to call another hospital, try to get their dad out of there.
Yeah.
And this is when Louise starts thinking back and she's like, dude, mom said not to come.
Yeah.
Maybe she was right.
Yeah, you think? And then it goes to nighttime. He's throwing all the goats into the fire. He's still freaked out. I think he calls his family one more time. Or leaves a message or some shit.
Yeah.
But he goes in, he's like, because they have a conversation again. And he's like, I'm just going to go hang out with
the goats to
the
make
baby
sure nothing
goats.
happens.
Yeah. The rest of them and then the new ones under the heat lamp. So he's like taking care of them. And this is when the freaky shit happens too.
One and Louise asks if she can go with him.
Yeah, because she's freaked out. She doesn't want to be alone. She's like, can I come with? And pretty much, I don't know. I would have followed him, but he's like, I don't think he says anything. I just think he goes.
He tells her to please stay with their dad.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And again, he's like, the nurse said something that's stuck. The worst thing to have happened to you is to die alone. So, like, at least keep dad company.
Yeah.
And yeah, he goes off to tend to the baby goats. And she's hanging out with her dad. And then, yeah, Becky, his wife, calls him.
Yeah.
While he's out there in the barn with the goats.
Yeah, and he's still saying, I just want to come home.
Yeah. And then there's that. So you see the barn.
Yep.
Is there a room in the back where those chimes are? Or is that like the outside?
That's the outside.
Okay.
Yeah, so the chimes, and they're going off, and then there's a thing walking, and then you make it out, it's the mom, and she's fucking stark-ass naked, walking up, bursts through the fucking chimes, and walks up to him. He's freaked out, is petrified, isn't moving, and she's straight up in his face.
Singing her trial song again.
Yeah, and he's freaked out, and I think he has his pocket knife out. And then it's trying to get him to slit his throat. And he fights it. And he's like, oh, fuck, dude. At that point.
Yeah, you can tell, yeah. It gives you another, he's holding a knife up to his neck. And he's really trying to fight it back.
Yeah, and he's freaked out. He's like, holy shit, man. I was so close. Because then he gets back to the house. He's sitting at the bed just staring at the knife.
To Louise.
Which I would be fucking all over it. But he's just staring at the knife like, what the fuck, dude?
And looking at the door, waiting for something to happen.
And you can tell shit's like really affecting him. And you get the feeling he's
done.
Yeah, he's gone. He's going to be leaving. And what does he do? He's gone.
Yeah.
He doesn't say shit either. He just leaves. He abandons his sister and dad. Isn't that fucked up?
While he's processing, you go and see that really fucking creepy scene where Louise and her dad are sleeping in the same bed.
Oh, fucking.
It's that same night.
Yeah.
And then the door slowly opens. You see the light fill the room.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Yeah. And she's laying down and she turns and you just hear this thing like climbing up onto the bed.
Oh, that is so creepy.
Dude, it was intense for you too because you were freaked out. You're like, what the fuck?
Like the coils on the bed are squeaking as it's climbing
compressing,
up there.
And then she's freaking out and you can tell she's like breathing hard and she's like, what the fuck? And then the thing hovers over the dad and then it hovers over her.
And it's just like a loud like huffing and puffing.
Yeah, like it's a beast.
Yeah. And you can see it's moving the entire bed. Like Louise is kind of bouncing. And she's fucking holding onto everything she's got not to scream and just stay quiet and not move.
Right.
She's like clenching her fist, like doing everything to keep it in.
Yeah. That was intense.
And she finally like, I don't know where the hell she gets enough courage.
But she turns around, her dad's gone.
To turn around and fight it. Yeah. And it's gone. And she's like, what the fuck?
Her dad's gone. And then she looks up and he's on the ceiling.
Fucking levitating on the roof, reaching out at her.
Yeah.
That would have been fucking scary.
Yeah. That was intense.
And then
she wakes up.
Yeah.
And then everything's normal.
Yeah.
She goes to find her brother. And did he leave a note?
And then it's Sunday. So you see the letters come up that it's Sunday,
Right.
the last day.
But does her brother leave a note?
No, she just goes out there calling for him and no answer. And you hear a knock on the door. And it's a girl's, like a teenager, outside saying hello.
Yeah.
And she says that she's Charlie's granddaughter. That they've been trying, her and her family have been trying to get a hold of Michael and Louise.
Yeah, but the phone was disconnected.
Yeah, and she's like, my mom just wanted you guys to know that my grandpa Charlie's dead. He shot himself 2 nights ago. And you can tell, again, like you said, he was more than just an employee. He was a family friend. She's really upset by this.
Yeah. She's like, what, Charlie?
Yeah, and she's like, I offered to come and, like, let you guys know if you guys would want to know. And Louise is like, no, dude, like, I just saw him. Like, there's no freaking way that he's dead.
Yeah.
And then she's like, by the way, sorry about your mom. And I think this, like, gives her some comfort. She's freaked out about this, like,
yeah, and
nightmare
she's
thing
alone
that
at the
happened.
moment. She's alone. Her brother isn't there. And so it's kind of comforting having her there. But then her dad starts breathing heavy or breathing hard, and she has to go take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then that girl walks in.
Well, she's asking her to come in.
Yeah, come in. And then the girl's still talking, and she says some fucked up shit.
Some fucked up shit.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly.
She stops at the doorway and then she's like, do you smell him? I
Yeah.
bet you do, with a creepy ass smile. She's like, I smell him too. He's rottening. I was like, ugh.
Oh, referring to her dad.
Yes, that's gross. And I think it clicks for Louise and she's like, get away from him. Goes and checks on the dad. He's still okay.
Yeah.
And then the girl's inside the house. And then the girl's just repeating over and over. She's like, he's rotting all alone.
Yeah. Yeah, just getting into her head.
Yeah, and then Louise, like, trips, and then the girl's, like, next to her face. And at this point, her eyes are just black out like a demon.
Right.
And then, poof, she's gone.
Yeah.
Just...
She's like, what the fuck? And this is where the nurse comes in.
The nurse, yeah.
And she comes and lights the fucking, what was her name? Lady.
Guadalupe.
Yep, she lights that candle, starts doing a prayer. She's like, we really need this shit. And then meanwhile, it is kind of creepy. I'd be freaking out if I was the nurse because I hear Louise just full on melting down, trying to call Michael, leaving messages. Like, where the fuck are you? You abandoned me. Just kind of like she's like not mumbling, but she's like,
well, he answers finally. He's like, sorry, dude, I had to leave.
yeah, but she's like startled, like, crying, screaming.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, man, I had to get out of there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I let you down, but I got to go home.
And then I think here you see the nurse, she becomes like possessed because she stops what she's doing, knitting.
Well, she's totally coherent. She knows what's happening because she starts crying.
And then she gets like a half smile and is turned and just like very attentively listening to the conversation.
Yeah.
And even Michael tells Louise, he's like, dude, you gotta go. Like,
yeah, get out of there. Save yourself. And at this point, the nurse is like trying to fight it, but all of a sudden she takes one of her, what is it?
the needles.
Yeah, knitting needle and stabs her eye.
Yeah, fucking over and over again. And at the same time.
Well, I wouldn't say over again. It's like once in the eye and then she does somewhere else.
She stabs her stomach.
Yeah, that's right. And she's like, oh, it's not working or whatever. And then she like walks out to.
Well, what she's doing is she tells her again to leave. Like what I got from this, they keep telling them like her mom told her to leave. The girl told her, the girl that came in and told her to leave. They want David completely alone so they can fully take him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he tasted better alone or what, but for some reason they're really pushing.
The love goes away. It's easy to get her, but yeah, she doesn't, and then she falls down and passes out. Right?
Yeah, when she stabs both of her eyeballs, and then
not yet. Like, what happens to Louise? Like, something happens to her. She passes out.
The nurse shook her.
Oh yeah, and hit her head. Right?
Yeah.
And so she passes out, and then it shows the nurse dragging her on the ground.
Oh.
And then she wakes up and the nurse is doing her thing. And then all of a sudden the nurse again takes the thing and stabs her other eye.
And then she's doing, all of this is happening. She's doing like a weird, I think she's praying because she keeps saying that Jesus loves you and all these things. And yeah, and she collapses.
Yeah, well, she finally dies because then she's stabbing herself or whatever. And then she dies. And Louise gets up. She's freaked out, all alone. But then it pans to Michael because he gets home, opens the door. It's quiet. He's like saying hello. Nobody's around. And then he looks in the bedroom, not there. And then he goes to the kitchen, dining room. And then he sees at the table his kids slumped over, bloody, hurt, and then the mom with a knife in her hand on the ground. So like it was like she killed the kids and then herself, which is pretty intense, obviously. And then Michael's like, what the fuck? I can't take this anymore. And then he grabs his pocket knife and then cuts his throat, slits his own throat as he's bleeding out. Dude, this is fucked up. He looks up the table. No, nothing's there. Everything's clean. And then as he's bleeding out, the mom and
he's
the
like
kids
trying to like hold his neck.
Yeah, he's like, fuck, I fucked up. And then the mom and the kids walk through the door. I'm happy, and all of a sudden the mom drops everything, screams as Michael's like dying.
That's the fucking biggest twist. As he looks up and it was all in his head.
Did you see that? Him. Did you see that coming?
No, I thought it really got to his family.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, trouble with him, and it got to his family.
Yeah,
but no, it just fucking messed with him. And then you go back to
that was intense, dude.
That was intense.
I'm like, oh, fuck, you're not safe anywhere because you think he's good. He got out of the clear. He saved himself. Nope. That fucking thing was still fucking with him. And that's one person down. He died alone. And then now it's down to the final two. You've got Louise and then you got the dad. And she wakes up and then what's happening? I think it's like dusk. And then it gets dark, doesn't it?
Yeah. The phone rings again and it wakes her up. And she comes and her dad's still there on the bed. And, you know, she's like, dude, I'm sorry. I gotta go. And
yeah, she gets outside and then she hears her dad again, like breathing hard. Yeah. And she's like, fuck, she still can't do it. And she runs up there. And then at this point, she's just holding her dad tight. She's like, don't leave me. Don't leave me.
She hears Michael calling her name from outside.
Like, and she's like, you're not real. And so it's just really fucking with her. And then at this point, you see it at the door, like something's there.
Well, the candle blows out.
Yeah.
And it's just dark.
Yeah, and something's at the doorway.
It looks like, I don't know if it was like moths that kind of fly in, but it almost looks like a figure that's kind of flowing in.
Yeah, it's a figure. It's like it's a figure.
And she's essentially saying her goodbyes to her dad. She's like, I love you. I'm not going to leave you. And her dad's just breathing so hard. And she's like, please, like, don't leave me.
Yeah, don't leave me alone. Don't leave me alone. And then this is where at the final scene, it shows the dad's body just like go, rah.
Yeah, well, before this, he dies. You hear the mom singing that little fucking trial song again.
He takes his last breath and she's like, fuck, don't leave me. And she knows she's all alone.
And she turns to her dad and he sets up.
Yeah.
And eats her face.
Well, it doesn't show it. It implies it. And then that's the end of the movie.
It's fucking dark and scary.
Well worth the watch.
If possession movies are your thing.
Now, this is a super detailed chat with you. You're super talkative on this one, Angeles.
I was talkative on this one?
Yeah, your description. You were hardcore, man.
I went home and I was trying to fucking break this thing down, okay?
You did. Holy shit.
You were like, when are we recording? I was like, I'm still watching the movie, damn it.
So, guys, I apologize if this one's not really our tempo. It's a darker one. We tried to make light of it. It was fun to watch. I enjoyed it.
It was so fun.
It just made me feel things that I don't like to feel, but it was good. Now, after the review, do you feel any different about this movie?
No, it was a fucking awesome movie.
How, who's your favorite kill?
We
got some good ones, dude. We got 4 kills? Well, everybody ends up getting killed, but
Charlie, the mom, Michael, the nurse, and Louise. Oh, you don't really see Louise, but it's implied. And then the dad. I think it's got to be the nurse.
You like the nurse?
It was the most like gruesome. I mean, graphic. Yeah, because the
Yeah.
mom she hung herself. That was
Yeah.
quick.
I
Not
like-
quick, but like you didn't see it.
Yeah, I like Michael's,
You
man.
like Michael?
Slitting his throat. That was intense, dude. Knowing he fucked up all for nothing.
I know. He almost made it out.
You know? Yeah, I'd have to
High
go with
hopes.
Michael. What would you rate this movie out of 5?
Out of 5?
Uh-huh.
I would probably rate it like a 4.
I know I don't think we've had one.
4.5.
We get Scream was pretty highly rated. I think that was the only other
You
one.
highly rated it.
Oh my god, I'm sorry you have poor taste.
What the fuck ever.
No, but what would you rate this one?
I'll do a 4.
Do a 4? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
4 out of 5. I
Yeah.
give this a 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Just because it
It's
made me
everything-
feel sad things.
It's everything a horror movie should be. It's right up my alley. I liked it. This was a good fucking movie. 4.5.
Nice.
It would get a 5, but there
But-
was, I don't know. I think there's a little bit more to be desired,
Oh,
but I can't really pinpoint what though. I just know that maybe.
some like more background info to some
Yeah,
of the story.
I think a little bit background would have been nice,
At the same time, I feel like
but
some
it was
of the
good,
loops
man. Yeah,
make it add to the mystery and the
yeah.
what's real and what. That was the whole
So
thing. What's real
honestly-
and what's not.
Honestly, I'd probably give this a 4.8.
4.8.
I'm changing it.
What the
4.8.
hell?
It is there.
Okay, I'll do 4.5. It was pretty good.
Right? This was a good one, man. This would you think? Oh, I guess Terrified was another highly ranked one for us.
Mhm.
I think this is right there with that. Maybe a little bit better.
Okay.
Would
Yeah.
you put this in the top 2 that we've seen so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of like actual
Top 3
scare.
for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree. Just look at my notes here.
Your notes. I have theories. So I was trying to find my thing. I try to find like facts about the movies, something to add to how they were made. They didn't have a lot for this movie that I found online. Besides how you mentioned that the farm that was used was the director's family farm.
Yeah.
There was a lot of videos and like blogs about like what it meant, the ending, this and that.
Yeah.
There was one theory that they threw out there that maybe perhaps this was not real. All of the characters are dead and in purgatory because they, one way or another, killed themselves or something about their sins. So they're in purgatory, being tortured, reliving their deaths over and over again.
I mean, yeah, that could work, but I don't think that's legit.
I don't think so. I just threw it in here as an interesting
Right. No, I
theory.
mean, that could be, that's a theory, I guess. Someone's a cool
Yes.
imagination. I don't, yeah. I mean, why add that extra layer? It doesn't need to be. It's reality. I want to say it takes place in reality,
In reality.
not purgatory. But I can see elements of it being that way, I guess.
Richard,
What else do you have?
if you had to pick a character from this movie, who would you be?
Oh, Jesus. Dude, I legit know what I'd be. I'd probably be Michael, dude.
You'll be Michael?
But a hardcore version of him. I ain't even probably showing up, dude. I'd probably show up for a day and be like, dude, this shit's fucked up. I'm fucking out of here. Sorry, guys. Love you, Mom, but I can't watch you mangle
Wait.
your fingers. Yeah. I'm like, you guys are fucked up. Better find Jesus. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh.
Because I feel like my family's like that. We're not very close. And we're distant. We don't really talk emotions. You know what I mean? And I'm not religious.
Like, see you later.
Yeah, I just feel like we'd be like this real situation. Yeah. So I'd totally be Michael. Who would you be?
The goats. I'm just kidding. Or the dad. The only way that I would have stayed in that farm for a whole week is if I couldn't fucking walk myself out of there.
You wouldn't leave your family. Get the fuck out of here.
No, I would have dragged my dad out of there.
Even if that killed him?
Yeah, he's gonna die anyways. That's why they're there, because he's on his last days.
Yeah.
There's no way I would have stayed in that farm with all of that happening. Like, No, thank you.
Nothing. You'd
Not at
airlift
all.
them out.
Yeah,
and
hell
like,
yeah.
Fuck this shit.
Yeah, we're gonna like you get a fucking cranny. We're gonna put him in sheets like old school and
Damn.
grab a cop. We're gonna throw him in the back of a pickup truck.
Didn't when evil lurks teach you anything? You don't move that body.
No, the evil lord was different. He was like possessed. The dad was not possessed.
No.
The theme wanted him.
Yeah.
No, I would have pieced out and then taken him straight to the church and be
Yeah.
like, you watch him.
So, did you, for the ratings before we get the Vienna's review corner, do you want to go over the ratings? Like, did you look at Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, Google?
I got IMDb, gave it a 6.1 out of 10.
Seen that. Pretty good.
Shudder 3.9
That was out
of
of, so IMDb was out of 22,000 user reviews.
Whoa.
And it got 6.1 out of 10. That's pretty fucking good.
Rotten Tomatoes,
Yeah.
91%.
Seen that too.
And
Out of 107 critic reviews with an average rating of 7.5 out of 10.
And then just Google users, 73%.
So this movie, man, this movie is highly regarded on critics' sides and the audience. So it's a pretty good movie. So again, folks, if you haven't watched this movie,
Disregard all the spoilers.
yes, watch this movie. It's worth it. Do it. Do it. Don't do it like the first time I watched this. I was under the influence and I was tripping balls. It freaked me out, dude.
That sounds like a really bad combination.
It was bad. And then I had to go home and I was
What?
like by myself,
Were you
pandemic,
crying?
the pandy.
Oh, Lord.
I was like, oh God, Jesus, take the wheel. But all right, let's get it rolling. Without further ado, we have Vienna's review corner. What's going on, Vienna? Thanks for hanging in there, kid.
Hi.
Hello. Hola.
What are we doing?
Okay, first of all, you know the question I'm going to ask you. Did you watch this movie
Yeah.
in its entirety?
Yes.
How'd you like it?
It was good.
It was good? Well, you make it sound like it was good? Like you didn't like it?
No, I did.
Honest opinion, let's hear it.
I don't know.
Let it rip.
I don't know.
What? This is riveting podcasting. Okay. Well, I'll just, by judging her face, she loved it. She's ecstatic. This is right up there with Jennifer's Body.
3 out of 5.
Oh, shit. You give it a 3. Wow, man. She's a hard person to entertain. Okay. Got any thoughts?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's get to the reviews. What do you got?
So someone said, "Dear horror directors, could you please knock it off with the metaphorical demons and old people walking naked? Thanks a bunch. 2 stars."
Mm.
Someone else said, "Some decent scares and acting. Lackluster ending. 3 stars."
I liked it.
It's been a long time since a movie literally gave me chills, but this did it. More than once. 4 stars.
I wrote that one.
I feel this movie somehow unjustly gets crammed in the Ari Aster / horror equals trauma niche. Don't get me wrong, I love that niche a lot, but the dark and the wicked deserves praise for its own merits. 4.5 stars and a heart.
Sorry, the mic. Yes, get it up there a little bit more. Got any more?
Yeah,
Keep rolling, man.
I don't know where I am now.
Oh, sorry.
You leave the goats out of this, Satan. 1.5 stars. 1.
I like that one.
The title nails it. It's wicked, creepy, and scary. It's dark to the point you'll feel depressed. Has some flaws. It's a very slow film. I'm not a fan of slow burns, and the story lacks substance. Overall, a good watch. 3.5 stars.
Dang, I liked it. I like that.
This movie made me realize I say y'all too often. Like, y'all might think I'm Texan, but it was truly disturbing. I actually fear farted. 3 stars.
Oh my God, who wrote that?
I don't know.
Fear. Hey man, everybody has the fear poops, okay?
You do. It's good considering the bad movies of this genre in the recent years. 3 stars and a heart.
Mm-hmm.
If this had an A24 logo on it, people would be all over it. 3.5 stars.
Dude, that's fucking true. And hold your point where you're at. I want to go off on A24 for a second. Some of those movies suck, dude, and they're overrated.
Like which ones?
Yeah, Night Swim, but that's Blumhouse. That one missed the mark. But A24, I feel like the wrestler one with the...
You know which
I forgot what it
A24
was.
kind of movie kind of pissed me off?
What?
Priscilla.
Yeah, that's another one.
No, only because they only told her story like when she was with Elvis, like when she met him
Yeah.
and then when she left him. It wasn't like after or like, like anything like that.
Yeah, okay.
It was just when she was
So-
with Elvis.
Thank you for bringing this up. So there's a decent A24, Hereditary, but
Mhm.
yeah, and then Midsummer, that one's okay.
What?
I-
That one's so good.
No, because guess what, dude? Lords of Salem, Rob Zombie made it before Midsummer, but guess what? It's a Rob Zombie movie, so people shit on it. But then you have this
Richard?
one. No, I like it. And then you have Midsummer and with A24 on. Oh my god, it's a masterpiece. And then you have X and Pearl. Those are okay. They're not
You haven't
great.
even watched Pearl. Pearl is so good.
Meh.
Oh my god.
The Lighthouse.
I'm sorry.
The Lighthouse.
I haven't watched that one actually.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That's just that's my feeling on it. I think they're a little overrated, in my opinion.
What else do they have?
We got a bunch, dude. Anyways,
Anyway,
let's continue on the reviews.
someone said worst movie I saw this year, and I saw Veronica, 1/2 star.
What's Veronica?
Veronica? I don't know. It's like a different movie. I think
Oh.
I've heard of it, but I
Oh.
don't know. Really creepy with a lot of genuinely great scares. The ending was very abrupt, which definitely detracts from the rest of the film. 3.5 stars.
I could see it, I guess.
Yeah. That's it.
That was it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the research.
Mhm.
Outstanding work as always. How's summer school going?
I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah.
You graduated?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. What are we doing to celebrate?
Nothing.
What? Oh, man.
Enjoying the rest of the summer.
All right. What's up next for us? Is it Blink 182? I'm pretty excited about it, aren't you? At the Gorge?
No. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I was going to sell your ticket.
Wow. I want to hear them play Apple Shampoo.
Oh, my God. No, I'm pretty excited. That'll be our next adventure.
And Pierce the Veil. Wow. Completely weather.
Heartthrobs.
What?
I don't know. Hey, they're no typo negative, okay?
They're emo.
What? They're hard
They
pressed to be emo. But all right, cool. Well, thank you, Vienna. Thanks for your patience. And always, the review corner is always riveting.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for watching the movie in its entirety, too.
What movie are we doing next?
That's what we're going to talk about.
All right. Bye.
Peace.
So much attitude. No, from Richard.
What do you
Just
mean?
kidding.
So yeah, to wrap things up, what movie are we going to do next? What were we talking about?
Are we doing the movie the got the fart
Oh,
scare fart?
so Hell House LLC. We could possibly do that one, or we could do. What were we talking about? We were talking about other things too.
Foreign movie, you said, right? Or
Oh
no?
yeah, we can cover a foreign movie. So we got options here. I think we're gonna leave it as a surprise,
Dun, 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 dun.
but it's gonna be host option this time.
Host option?
Yeah, no randoms. It's gonna be picking. Me and you are picking this one.
You mean you.
Me and you.
You mean you.
You mean you.
Because you're going to be like, I don't want to see that. We should watch this.
I'm sorry, I'm opinionated and I speak my opinion, and you don't. You got to convince me otherwise. This
No,
is
we're going to watch everything.
neutral together, though. We got to come up with the decision together.
We're going to watch everything. We're gonna watch Midsummer next episode.
No.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, I guess stay tuned and find out which one it will be.
Riveting stuff. Hasta lugosi. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Horror Cinema Obsession. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If so, help spread the word by leaving a rating and review wherever you listen to podcasts. And join us next time for another episode of Horror Cinema Obsession.